So before I start this video, I just want to thank everybody out there for helping me get to 500 subscribers. I know it's not a big milestone, but for me, it actually is kind of a big deal because I never thought I was going to get more than 5 or 10, subs on this channel. And I'm being completely honest there because I just figured I'd get a few people from my Facebook, 5, 10 here or there, friends, family, etc. people from work. And, apparently a lot of you out there do enjoy the content. I want to thank everybody that's commented and, liked or even disliked. If you didn't like it, you downvoted it, and I definitely helped me out on the channel. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys get to the actual content and give one thanks out there for Kids Cloud and GT for being number 500. I am still a small channel, so I can't do like a giveaway or anything like that, but I'm giving you a personal thanks. Anyway, let's get to the content. So if you're one of the few that want to go ahead and stream while you're just chilling out on the couch, then you want to look into a streaming device. Now, you have many options, like you can just use a PlayStation 4 or something like that, but what happens if you have a computer that is, beefy enough to play PC games and you want to play those PC games while chilling out on your couch? Now, we're limited to a few options when streaming games, and we're just going to focus on 2 of those options, one being the Nvidia Shield and the other being Steam Link. Now, Steam Link is actually discontinued, so you may want to get one of them while you can, and if you're a collector, go ahead and grab one because they're probably going to be gone and it will no longer be an option. Now, I want to mention, if your entire goal is only budget, then you definitely want to get the Steam Link because it is a lot cheaper. I ended up getting my Steam Link here at $1. I mean, I got $1 and I was able to get this. And the reason why is because they had a promotion for the game Icy, and it was actually a pretty good platformer game, so I really recommend checking it out. But if I bought the game for about $7 and I got this for $1 and I paid for shipping and handling, so in total it came to like $10 and I got the game. But if you're looking for actual features, Nvidia Shield has a lot of different features. You can stream like Netflix, Amazon Prime, and all those other things on there. But we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus directly on game streaming. I'm going to first mention the cost. There's different costs between, obviously, having the Shield or the Steam Link and the Nvidia Shield. The Nvidia Shield is definitely going to cost more. The current hefty cost is about $185, and that's only with the remote control that it comes with. That's without the controller. And this controller is actually pretty decent, but we'll get into that. Now, the controller option is going to cost you around $195. That's with the controller and everything, and it's $165. I think I accidentally said $185 for the remote version. And there's also a Pro version that is a 500 gigabyte internal drive. That's more if you're going to be storing your games on the Nvidia Shield itself. That also brings me to one other point, and that is that the Nvidia Shield is able to record your gameplay directly from Nvidia Shield. Now, I did a video a while back where I was pretty upset that they actually took it out of the Nvidia Shield software. You just weren't able to use it anymore. And that was kind of devastating for me because at the time, that's all I did for my game recordings. So I was pretty upset about that. But they did bring it back about 4 or 5 months later. Now, some of the other aspects that you get is you get Google Assistant. Now, that's not really game related, but it is another feature that you want to also think about when you're going for the Shield over the Steam Link. Now, Steam Link can run your games at 1080p at 60 frames per second, and it is locked at 60 frames per second. You cannot go any higher or anything else. So no matter how fast or what your hertz are, you will not be able to go over that speed. So most TVs only do 60, so it's not really that big of a deal, but you do want to keep that in mind if you have a big 4K TV. If you have a large 4K TV, then you might want to start looking more at the Shield other than the Steam Link. Now, Nvidia Shield, and one of the main reasons why I went with the Nvidia Shield is because it can play 4K, 2160p at 60 frames per second. Yeah, it can do the full 60 frames per second, and it's actually not locked at that, so you can tell how much frames you're actually getting. So you can just, turn off VSync and everything else and allow it to go over that. It won't actually give you more than 60 frames per second as far as your refresh rate and everything. So that also, just like the Steam Link, you're going to be limited on. Also HDR. Nvidia Shield is probably the only one out there right now that will give you HDR and in your games. Now that is kind of a up and down thing, because for a while Nvidia actually stopped supporting HDR in the games. I think it was Final Fantasy 15 where I was playing. The main reason why I got the Shield and I got Final Fantasy 15 is because of the HDR. And then I was trying to play it through Shield and no HDR, and I found out that they discontinued it for a while, but then they brought it back. At this current time, I'm not exactly sure if it's back, but I did see that it is working. Now, if you only have a 1080p TV, that's still okay if it does, HDR, which some of them out there do. You can do HDR at 1080p. Another thing you want to think about with the Nvidia Shield is, seeing that it does 2160p and 60 frames per second, and not all computers are able to, hit that 60 frames per second, and you want to, run lower. Now, that is true. So in that aspect, you may think going with the Steam is a better option. Well, not exactly, because you can still use HDR at lower resolutions. You don't have to be at, 2160p to be able to, run that HDR. And HDR is really good looking in the games that it's supported. Now, I'm going to talk about the controllers here. Now, the controllers are definitely, a bit unique. The Steam controller I don't have. I didn't want to spend the extra money for it. The Nvidia Shield controller is, one of a kind. It definitely looks different than some of the others that are out there, but it is a PlayStation 4 type of controller. It has your basic buttons, but it also, if you look at it, it uses the ABXY, which is obviously Xbox and not PlayStation. So you want to think about that as well. Now, one of my favorite controllers is the Phantom PDP. Phantom Black one is probably my favorite. The one that's kind of has a decent little grain on it. And this is one that I like the most. The only thing I'm sometimes not okay with is the bottom buttons. They kind of get in the way sometimes, but you can actually take this thing off. There's a little button back here that'll take that off, and you don't have to worry about those buttons anymore. But with that being said, the one thing about using this controller is you're able to use it with the Steam Link. However, you're not able to use it with Nvidia Shield. It won't show up, it won't work. When you plug in a regular Xbox controller and stuff like that, it will work with Nvidia Shield, but it has to be an officially licensed one. So some of these, like, off-brand ones, PDP, will not actually work with your Nvidia Shield, but it will work with the Steam Link. And now the other part was that the PlayStation 4 controller works with both of these. You can use the Bluetooth connection by hitting the PlayStation button and the share button at the same time, and that will bring up a few flashing lights, and it will put it into pairing mode, and you're able to pair with either one of the Steam Link or the Nvidia Shield. And it works perfectly with both of them. So if you're one of the people that do like having the PlayStation controller, you can use that. Unfortunately, most games are going to use the Xbox One controls. It'll give you the X, Y, B, A instead of the square, circle, etc. So which one of these would I recommend you getting? Well, it depends on your needs and your budget. If your budget is really low, definitely try to find one of these. If you can find them cheap, definitely get one. Like I said, I got mine for $1, but that was during, a special promotion. I seen some of them at like GameStop for about $14, but the average price is around $40 to $60. And most people that are selling these are trying to get rid of them because they just don't want them anymore. But it is still a really good option to sit on your couch and start playing games. Now, I do recommend the Shield as well. This one I would recommend for people that want more than just a gaming streaming device. If you're wanting to stream, because this will work as a console itself, you can actually play games from GeForce Now, where you're able to actually just play games that you have in your Steam library or any other library. If you have a game in BattleNet, you can actually play that through here without your computer, and it'll use streaming. It's kind of like Strata that's coming out for Google, which I hopefully will be able to review that when that comes out, and I'm going to compare it with this Nvidia Shield. The Nvidia Shield also has Google Assistant in it, so you can play all different types of videos. You can play your own videos through USB, but this will also have 4K HDR. So if you have a 4K HDR TV and you want to play any videos from there, it's definitely an option. Both of these actually have LAN ports and Wi-Fi, and that's 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. So I definitely recommend using a hardwire with both of these. So I'm really going to leave this up to you. I just kind of want to let you know what you have for options and what we have right now before Strata comes out. Strata is going to go ahead and use something like servers, remote servers, to connect your games and play the games remotely. Just like the Shadow Play, which I reviewed a few months back, and I really don't know how well that's going to actually work. It all depends on what hardware they put behind it. The Shadow Play, claim that you can play everything at 4K, full and stuff like that for a bit, and you just weren't able to. It kind of was equal to a GTX 1060. We actually tried it with the GTX 980 Ti, and it was pretty even. The 980 Ti won in some areas, and it just depended on what game that you're playing. Anyway, I hope this gave you enough information that you could go ahead and make a purchasing decision. Like I said, the Steam Link is discontinued, and there's not a lot of support for it. So that's why I do recommend the Nvidia Shield overall. But if you're able to get your hands on a Steam Link, it's still a great option. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think and which one you may want to go for. If you have any questions about them, I definitely will be happy to answer them. Make sure you hit that like button. Definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel. You all take care and happy gaming.